few things that set the Colorado College Teacher Prep program apart: small class size, faculty who are dedicated to the profession.
Another thing that we're really proud of is that in the 2022 College Factual, we were rated the top teacher preparation in the state and one of the top rated teacher preparations in the Western United States. So that's something that, we obviously are very proud of and want to continue forging forward with.
I think our students really feel that care and support that we're able to give them because of our small size.
And so you get a really personalized experience. You work closely with the faculty here, and I think that's a really important aspect. They're going to make sure that you learn something that's going to be useful to you in your classroom.
The community that they foster in the education department is unlike any on campus, and I think that just that close-knit, tight, family-like structure is really a springboard a lot of us to success.
Because we're intentionally small, we're also intentionally integrated. And what we mean by that is that in a lot of programs, students will take kind of very linear courses, like how to teach reading, how to teach writing, how to teach STEM. And what we do instead is we try to integrate those ideas with each other, which is really more like how disciplines interact in the actual classroom. As our students learn about culturally sustaining pedagogy, they're also learning about literacy development, or as they're learning about universal design for learning, they're also thinking about how do I teach reading from a perspective of universal design for learning. I'm teaching the group right now, and one of the things we're working on is the science of reading. And so everybody had the opportunity to customize and design a science of reading lesson for their placement, go in and practice teaching that, videotape themselves teaching that, and then bring it back to class to reflect with one another.
Through the course of our study, we've been analyzing certain students, and we create lesson plans that are inclusive of their personal effects. Then differentiation goes a step further by I craft specific assignments to help kids generate proficiency and get up to level where it's supposed to be, or if they're already at level and it's too simple, then raise the level of comprehension that they have.
So I love that it's able to cater to me as a secondary educator, because a lot of the other students in the cohort are elementary educators. So they're doing science of reading stuff, they're doing phonics, and that's not stuff that I really need to be doing as 7th through 12th licensure. But she's working to make sure that literacy instruction also works for me, because students don't stop reading once they figure out how in 3rd grade. They just switch from learning to read to reading to learn. And so it's still my job to give them the scaffolding they need to be readers who can read to learn and who can read critically.
Literacy is the base for all education. Being able to read can greatly impact math if you're talking about math word problems. If you can't read, you can't read a math word problem.
It's a safe space to grow, and the focus on equity and inclusion, identity and empowerment adds a really critical lens to anybody going into any field, but when we're talking about education, I think it's critically important to talk about those things.
If you understand how people learn, why people learn, then you can always disseminate information to them in a way that they will be able to receive it. The instructors are constantly looking for opportunities to grow in their ability to teach and convey the messages that they want to convey.
The readings that we're doing in the MAT program and even in the ed department as an undergrad were so critical and so recent. Professors are staying up to date on what we're reading. I'm reading things from 2021. I'm reading things from 2023. And so it's informed by what's going on right now. And I think that's really unique, that it's staying so up to date and relevant.
They also are interdisciplinary, which gives you the opportunity to learn about things that aren't specifically within what you're trying to learn about, but they give you enough, or they give you a context that can really propel you in those fields and give you the opportunity to talk to a much wider range of individuals. So I think that makes us much more well-rounded teachers, and we go into schools ready to be there.
Learning how to do action research was really useful for me, because I think it opened my eyes to the fact that you don't just teach and assume that kids learn. You teach and you collect data and you take a look at what's going on and you use that to inform future teaching.
On a base level, just my ability to do data analysis and inquiry, I think those were some really heavily focused on things here, and I think those skills have carried with me.
Everything that we do in class is so relevant to being a classroom teacher. We're making lesson plans and then we're sending them to our peers to critique them. And then we get a chance to apply those critiques and turn them in again.
That's something I'm really proud of. We've become much more of an applied, hands-on teacher prep program where everybody is in a classroom and everybody's doing what we're learning in class and coming back and sharing their experiences with us.
And when you go and you get actual tangible experience and you're actually working with students every day. And I love that it's founded in what we're doing in class. And so I think that balance of class and practicum is a really wonderful and unique component of this program.
My focus on building community is something that I don't know I would have considered a priority before I came to CC, but I think it's absolutely essential that I connect with my students and that we understand each other a little bit before we even start the process of academic learning.
The focus on our teacher identity, I think, is not something that I've heard a lot of other people from different programs talk about.
One of the key things that CC did was open my eyes to what I bring into the classroom, my background, my biases, and how that might affect how I relate to my students.
I think that intersectionality is one of the most crucial topics in contemporary times, period. We need to understand people's multifaceted identities so that we can adequately and accurately teach to those identities and allow them the full space to be themselves while also giving them information in a way that's most conducive to them learning and most relevant to their experience.
A lot of it has more to do with what else is going on in the classroom and how does that affect whether students are learning or not and what they take away. So are you building a classroom community? Are you making it a safe space for your students? Are you taking something in there that you didn't realize you were taking in there? And how can you work to make sure that that's not affecting your students?
The ed classes that I did take completely shook my conception of public education as it stands in this country, and it brought me this critical lens, and now I feel like I'm prepared to do good work and help students become global citizens that are going to do good.